Hello everyone and welcome back to Farming Simulator 19. This is Virtual Farmer Ken Bob, and as you can see we are starting out on the Welker farms. This is our first actual working video in the series. We did the equipment tour last time, and today I want to start off by going over here, and we're going to get this first field. I believe one of the fields that we own anyhow, field 2 here, it needs to be plowed. So I wanted to go ahead and start working on getting that taken care of. So we'll get this tractor flipped around and get it set up on a course here and let it go. Whew, man, that came really close to them other tractors. I usually kind of like to overlap a little bit because when you look at the map, the detail map, sometimes it's not exactly lined up, and I kind of like to set it up to where it's lined up enough that it's going to take all of that, all those lines on there that they show. Whoops. I'll figure it out here. But see, like here, it's not quite exact. It's showing the field covering, you know, the crop. It's not exactly lined up with the edge. Sometimes it shows that it needs plowed. Like in this case, it shows that it needs, or that it was already cultivated. So anyhow, I'll get back over there and we'll get back on this tractor, and I want to go ahead and, like I said, and get this turned off, and then we'll put a hired helper on it here and just let him run up and down it for a while, and then we'll come back and check it out. And I just turned the engine off. The buttons are on the same controller, but they're different different sides of the controller. So there we go on that. We'll run back over here and jump. I didn't want to stop that one by running in front of it. So let's jump into this one. This, like I said the other day on the tour, this one here is set up for cultivating only. So we'll fold it up and park it over there by the 620. Well, we'll try to fold it up. There we go. And there goes the airplane. I don't know if you saw that. Airplane flies, and it's not always the same loop. I've seen it in many different areas before. Now, the one thing I am going to run into, I'm going to have to take control of that big bud that's out there in field 2 right now. I have to take control of it just enough to run it up down the hill. I say the hill. Field right here, so that we're not running into any of these parked tractors along here. So, and there goes the plane back the other way. I could just go through here and tab through all the equipment, but I don't have all the things parked. So it'd be 20 something tabs to get around here. Because I counted it out, and I believe that's what we have in our garage, is 22 drivable vehicles. So it takes a lot to run a farm, even in the game here with only 2 fields, which I guess I didn't go over that in the equipment tour. But whenever I was setting this map up, I went ahead and bought field 11 over here, because on the videos that they do, excuse me, they show a lot of work going on right here at this field. There's like tanks and grain bins and all kinds of stuff right there. So there's even a storage set over there we can use, which this map is not lacking of storage areas. There's storage areas at many of the houses on this map. So we, of course, don't own any of those. I wanted to start this off with just the 2 basic fields. I have seen the map that they use in real life to set up their planting rotations. Matter of fact, I think it was just a couple days ago that they showed that on one of their videos. But I don't know of all those fields which ones are owned and which ones are leased and which ones, that they're just basically farming to help someone out. I don't know if they do that, but I do know that they farm 15,000 acres, I believe it is, but I don't know what all is owned and what all is leased. So we do have a leasing option in this game. I don't know if you're familiar with let's see, I'll just go to it. But as you can see in here, you can lease. See, I think it's under here. Nope. And nope, I must not have that turned on. Well, I thought I had the global company turned on for leasing. So I guess we're not going to do that right now anyhow. I wasn't planning on it today, but at some point, depending on how the play goes, if we can not really ever get to the point where we can buy, I'd rather buy the land, especially running with this precision farming, which I am using precision farming on this map. So we will need to go and check our land and run the precision farming tool on it. But I don't like leasing it, because if you lease it and then go around and check all of the fields for the precision farming. I got the wrong one here. There we go. Here under the precision farming, you can get soil samples. And of course, we have none right now. But when you do that, if you're leasing the field, you lose your soil sampling. And it's not cheap to do the soil sampling on fields these size. So I'd rather buy it if I can, because once you lease it, and then I don't know if you can buy it straight from a lease or if you have to sell it back and then buy it again. And I do believe that's how I've had to do it in the past whenever I played different maps. And I'd really rather not have to go back and do all the soil samples over again. So anyhow, at this point, my plan is to just basically buy what we can buy when we can buy it, until either the series just goes old, or until we own the whole map. I mean, that's kind of what I'm hoping to do, is get to a point where we own the whole map. But something else I didn't go over in my equipment tour yesterday, on the money, it cost us $3,813,000 to buy all the equipment that we bought. The game only let us borrow so much based on the value of the farm and the equipment and the land that we own. The game allows up to a certain amount. But on this, I went ahead and borrowed the entire amount that I needed to set the map up the way I needed it. But in an effort to maintain reality and to be accountable to the series, anything I added into the bank in order to buy the equipment that I bought, I also turned around and made it count against the loan in this series. So that's why you notice that the loan that we owe is $3,760,000, even though the game would only allow us to borrow about $1,750,000, I think it was. So we went $2 million over in order to pay for all the equipment that we had to have. And I don't know. That seems like an unsurmountable amount on this series. But I've played this map before, and I've not added money. I don't cheat, if that's what some people call it. I mean, there's a debate on whether or not anything you do is cheating on this game, because if they didn't want you to do it, they wouldn't make it possible. But anyhow, getting out of that debate, I've played this map before, and I've had it well over $11 million at one point. And that's without adding any money into the XML file. So I don't think it's impossible. The pay that they give you is really well on contracts. I don't have the hard mode set. I think I'm on easy economy. Okay, yeah, normal. See, there's hard economy and then easy. I've got it set to normal. So, but if you look at these contracts, field 23 is 6,000, and that's not that big of a field. I mean, it's pretty good size, but that's just cultivating. It costs you nothing. Maybe diesel. You run out there, run your cultivator over it, and you're done, and you made $6,000. You start getting into the planting and the different things that you can do. Like in this case, field 1, the biggest field on the map, is $23,000 to cultivate it. So, it pays pretty well. It's not exactly easy economy, but it's not real impossible either. So, all right. So getting back to this, what I want to do now, we're running this cultivator. I'm sorry, this plow. We got to remember that this one's a plow. I don't have a rotation set up on this one yet, so I'm going to have to work on that off camera. But primarily, we're going to run wheat, barley, I believe soybeans. We don't have lentils or chickpeas or anything like that. Not lentils, but we don't have chickpeas or green peas or anything like that on this map. I know it can be added, but I'm not sophisticated enough to figure all that out. But we won't be running corn, except for whenever we expand and get bigger, and we need to start doing other jobs and all that to make some more money. But I'm going to try to stick with original, just the wheat, the barley, and then the soybeans, and possibly sunflowers. We'll need a header for that. But for the main part, mainly, I haven't mentioned oats, but we might go ahead and do those, because that'll give us 4 products, 4 different things to plant on our own fields, and that'll give us a little bit of a rotation. The soybeans, of course, being the every other year crop. And I don't know that we'll get into winter wheat. We're going to try, but that just depends on how the rotation goes, because I'm not real sure on the rotation list of Farming Simulator if this is one rotation and this is a second rotation, or if it's all 1 year's one single crop. So I'm not sure on that. That's one thing I'll have to admit my ignorance on, is whether or not you can do 2 of the same crop in the same year on a field. If not, then, of course, whatever's in soybeans, we'll try to run the, wheat, barley, or oats on this winter side. And, we'll try to make it work. But I don't talk like I know what I'm doing, but, whenever it comes to it, in the end, I generally figure it out. Mostly by trial and error and failure. I'm pretty used to failure, because I do that quite a bit. But what I'm going to do here, I'm going to turn these combines off, because we will not need them for quite a while. So we've parked those. I don't need this. It's in the shop. It's just a shop item. We don't need this, so let's park it. I do need this, and we're going to need it pretty quick. I usually leave the pickup truck and the retriever, so that if I ever go somewhere and park in the field, I'll have a way to jump into that field. And this particular tractor, let's go ahead and look at the jobs for cultivating. And I'm going to start off by accepting field 1 right now. And let's go ahead and head this tractor on over right now. And let's get some work done on field 1 and see if we can't start generating some cash flow. We're down to 46,000 out of $3,700,000. So we're going to need to get some money flowing here pretty quick, especially before we can start seeding or planting. We do not have near enough money right now to buy all the seeds and all the fertilizer we're going to need to plant our own fields. I don't plan on buying fertilizer for the fields that we're doing contracts on. I haven't ever tested with these planters if they'll run without fertilizer. I'm hoping so, because if they will, then what we'll do is we'll empty out any fertilizer we have in it before we go and do a contract job, if I remember. It's going to be the hardest part right there, is remembering all these things we got to take care of. But whenever we go to do a contract job, we'll try to remember to take all the fertilizer out and go plant our job. And of course, if it's going to be anything like corn or any potatoes or something like that, obviously our planters won't work. We're going to have a specific planter for those different types of crops. So of course, obviously we'll have to borrow the equipment for that until we get to a point in the game where if we decide we want to go ahead and just buy the stuff, if we have enough money to do so, it might be more in our best interest to go ahead and just buy the stuff in the first place and just store it on the different farms that are laying around the map. And especially if we end up buying the whole map, we might be planting the different fields with different types of crops. So all these things that we have to consider as we go through the series and determine just exactly how we want to handle it all. I do have another series that I run where I only do work that I can do myself. It's my Clark Farms series. I don't use hired help on that except for the combine. And the only reason I use the combine with hired help is so that the combine can run around the field and do all the combining, and I can just run the grain cart up and collect from it. I haven't done that yet in the series. Even whenever I'm running the combine, I just go ahead and run it myself, and I don't use a hired helper on it. But if I ever did use hired help, that would be for the only reason, is to run the combine, is kind of my goal on that particular series. On this map, however, that's not going to be a possibility. There is way too much work to be done, and I don't want to try to do it all with just one piece of equipment at a time. That is going to take us way too long and be way too boring. Of course, the Welker Farms, they have 4 people. They've got Wiggles, and then the 3 family, the dad, the Hollywood, Nick, and then Leg Arms, so they've got 4 people. I haven't seen Wiggles lately. I know he got bit by a snake here a while back, but they did a series, they did a video where they interviewed him after the bite, and it looked like he was coming along pretty good, but I don't know. I haven't seen or heard anything more about him since then. But see, this is something else we're going to have to fill, is this tank right here, the tender. We're going to have to get this filled with either fertilizer or herbicide. I'm sure we're going to go with fertilizer first, since I'm sure we'll have to do fertilizing here shortly. Like after these fields are all cultivated, I think they're going to call for planting. And then after that, they generally go into fertilizing. So this one here, I got this water truck. Not really sure without animals what exactly we would need water for, but I'm not ruling out the possibility of putting animals on here. Um, I know that they've done sheep previously, not on the series, not on the real series, but uh, they've talked about having sheep at one time, but you know that at some point or another they were able to get out of that, and so they did. But in an extreme case, you know, if it's something that we can do, I'd kind of like to get in animals because that adds a little bit more of another layer of play to the game and creates a little bit more of a challenge. Plus, it makes it a little bit more interesting for the people who are watching to come along and have something to see other than just running a tractor up and down a field. We can go feed the cows or, you know, take care of the sheep, the hogs, you know, whatever it is we're doing. It's just a little bit more of another layer of gameplay. So I'm not real happy with how that thing is leaving those spots behind. I don't see if I can. I don't have the easy development controls enabled on this. I've used them before for certain videos, but I'm just not real happy with the way it works on my computer. I don't know if there's a conflict with another mod or what it is, but sometimes it seems like it causes my computer to run a little slower. And I don't like that delay. So, well, it doesn't look like there's more than a couple spots there, so shouldn't be too big of a deal. But yeah, what I was mentioning before about the garage is there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22, and 23 and 24. So 24 things. So I was a couple off. I thought I only had 22, but I did forget that I got that Terragator and that Versatile. So, or Versatile. I'm not exactly sure how to say it. But anyhow, yeah, we haven't really gone for that long. I normally try to keep them around 30 minutes, but we've got those two fields started here. We got field 2 getting, or field 1 getting cultivated. I mean, we can ride along a little bit longer in this tractor, and normally whenever I'm just playing the game for fun, I usually outline the whole field and just go around the whole thing, and that can take anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes just to cultivate the boundaries of this field. So I'm not sure, you know, if that's something that everybody wants to be seeing, is sitting here watching the entire process play out. So for this particular video, I'm going to go ahead and say that this is going to be the end of it. If enough people show interest and state that they would like to, you know, ride along as we do the whole field, we might, on a couple jobs, we might run I've got GPS set up in every single tractor. So every tractor we run, we can always run GPS and just sit there and run an entire field on our own, and we'll have good straight rows. So if that's something that people show interest in, then I'll be more than happy to entertain that thought, and we'll see what we can do. But for the meantime, I think we'll go ahead and call it the end of this video, and we'll come back later and maybe we'll have some more jobs to work on, or we'll come back into this one and finish these two fields up and start with the next thing. We'll just kind of see how it plays out here. In the meantime, until we see you again, you all have a great day out there and stay safe out there.